Hello again and welcome. My name is Jesse Benedetti and we are working with the Costanza experiment. Today we have a little segment, just a small one, so we can talk a little bit about weight versus composition. As we're beginning another year, one of the biggest things that I'm dealing with, that a lot of people are dealing with, is that number on the scale. Let me just tell you right now, there are so many ways of measuring your success when you're dieting or when you're eating better, your nutrition. Don't really like the word dieting because of the negative connotation it takes on. But as you're changing up your nutrition, you're eliminating a lot of negative things, adding in a lot of good things, and you're just making everything feel a lot better. As you go through all this, you're going to start to see if you put your body in a great metabolic chaotic state, which is most of us, including myself, for the past few months and maybe even years, possibly even decades, it's going to take a minute before you come out of that. It's going to take a little minute. And if you do it quickly, it's going to be gone quickly, and it's going to be that cycle all over again. If you want it done right, you've got to do it right the first time so it's more sustainable. So as you're going through this, I wanted to take a minute to share a little bit about myself so that you can see what I'm talking about. Now, when I first started the year, at the end of last year, the last 3-4 months of the year, I just kind of ate whatever I want, drank pretty much every day, and I'm not talking about water. I just had a good time, enjoyed the rest of the year, lived life to the fullest, and I felt kind of miserable by the end because all the toxins were weighing on me, all the poisons were weighing on me. And by the toxin and poison, I'm talking about processed food, talking about alcohol, all of that stuff was weighing on me. And then the beginning of the year, and I switched it all over. So just to give you a little idea, your body has a certain amount of calories every single day to maintain just living normally. So if you hit that number, and it's different for everybody, if you hit that number, you won't gain weight, you won't lose weight, you'll just stay even. And that's making sure that you take into account if you're not working out because of muscle and all these kind of things. So you have, that's called maintenance. My maintenance calories is around 2,400. So if I want to lose weight, I've got to be in a deficit of that. So, depending on how much, let's take, for example, right now, for the past 3 weeks, I'm in a 700 calorie deficit. I mean, about 1,700 calories right now of all good foods, whole foods, everything's going well to try to cut some of the fat to lose weight, things like that. So the numbers on the scale are going to fluctuate. A lot of things are going to fluctuate, especially in this first month. And especially if you are one of these people that need to see results quickly, you're going to have a hard time with this. And you got to understand it's about patience. It's about learning more about your body. And I'm talking about myself, including as much as I am everybody else. There's something very important that you need to understand. Weight versus competition. Composition. Your body composition is just how it looks, how it's formed, all these different things, the muscle, the skeleton, all that kind of good stuff. And then you have your weight. That one measurement is so critical. We've learned, because I'm going to tell you, it all goes about, everything started with marketing, right? How to make us more conscientious of things like that. We're going to talk about that in the next segment when we talk about whole foods versus processed foods and things like that. But the idea is that we need to look at that number on the scale, that number on the scale. That's not a good indicator. It's one good thing out of a lot of good things. Other good things that you need to look at is, are your clothes fitting looser? Are you feeling more energetic? Are you sleeping better? Are you just better to be around? Your moods are better. You're in a little bit more optimistic mood. You're a little bit more go-getter. You have a little bit more energy. You can play with your nieces, nephews, your kids, whatever it is, grandkids, whatever the thing is. There's so many other things. The size of the inches around your waist, the inches of the fat percentage, all these things are what you should be worrying on. And then the weight is there as another thing, but not one thing is a good determination of anything. So this, all of that was a big round story to say I started this year at 193.3. So I probably am around 22-ish% body fat, maybe give or take 3. It's around there. So I started at 193. Now, at the beginning, January 2nd, that Monday, I cut 700 calories. I eat so clean right now. No alcohol, no cheating, no anything whatsoever, no deviation. I measure everything that goes in my mouth to the gram sometimes. right? I measure how much peanut butter I have, how many eggs I have, how much egg whites I have, the vegetables amount that I have. I do it all because it's just how I do things and for what I'm doing specifically. Now, you don't have to be that anal about it, but that's okay. That's that same thing. You can do whatever you need to do, but I'm just telling you to give you an idea, because on this big extreme, you're going to see that even for me, who's doing something so right, and it's almost 3 weeks now. So I stepped on the scale this morning, and today is the 20th, so that's good. 18 days, 3 days away from three weeks. And I started that Monday the 2nd, 193.3. This morning, drum roll, 193.7. That's right. I've gained 0.4 pounds, 0.4 pounds by eating less and exercising regularly and doing all the stuff you're supposed to. And you just say, well, if he can't do it, then no, that's not true. That's not true, because that's the idea, is that I know that it's going to be like that. That's the hard part. People want to see immediate. I want to see right now. It's not working. It's not working. I know I put my body through a lot of chaos in the end of last year, especially all of last year with the nutrition and restricting a lot of stuff because I competed. So my body is all over. So right now my body is kind of just sitting there for about 3 weeks going, okay, what's going to happen? We're just getting ready. We're just staying ready. All hands on deck. So it doesn't know what to do quite yet. It hasn't settled into eating. I'm eating the correct foods. I'm eating low calorie count. I'm watching it more than probably 99.9% of the people that are looking at me right now, if not 100%. So but I also know that's part of it. Is it still frustrating? Yes. Is it still a little bit, anxiety producing? Yes. Does it still make me want to think, well, what's the hell's the point? Well, I'm actually the same amount of weight when I do nothing. Yes and no. Right. So that takes me to the next point, a small little point where you have to understand about fat, and then you have to understand about muscle. There's that popular thing that a pound of fat and a pound of muscle don't weigh the same. Here's the thing. If you weigh, let's just say 150 pounds, 150 pounds, right? But you lose, 10 pounds of fat, but gain 10 pounds of muscle. You still will weigh 150 pounds, but you will look much thinner, because fat and muscle are two different things. Muscle is very, very dense, much heavier feeling, very tight. It's very like a fist, right? And fat, it takes up more volume. It takes up more volume, so you can see it clearer. So it's like a big thing. So just as what you want to think about that. So you can actually lose 10 pounds of fat, gain 10 pounds of muscle, weigh the exact same thing, and look completely different. So that's where you get that term sometimes, skinny fat. Right? So the person may weigh 120 pounds. They're so thin. They have no muscle on their body. Now, I'm not talking about muscles. Don't get crazy with it. I'm not talking about muscles that you need to compete with. We all need muscles. That's part of life. Your body is craving muscles. That's what they're there for. And muscles eat fat better than anything in the world. That's why strength training is better than any other type of exercise that's out there. It's good to have a combination of everything, though. We want to have a good cardiovascular system, aerobic and anaerobic exercises to help everything. It's all good, but we have to understand, if you're trying to crush the fat, muscle crushes fat. Rocks, paper, scissors, right? So you have fat, which is big, 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 and then you have muscle. It crushes it every single time. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. There's no rock, paper, scissors. It's just muscle and fat, and the muscle eats the fat. It's like Pac-Man, right? And that's what's happening. All that fat, all those fat dots that are out there, but Pac-Man can eat them all up, and the ghosts and everything else. So when you're going through stuff, I want you to understand something. I don't look much different. The picture on the left is January 2nd. The picture on the right is just yesterday. So when you're looking at these pictures, they're kind of similar. Maybe if you really try really hard, you can see that I've lost a little bit of puffiness in my face. And I actually weigh 4/10 of a pound more after doing all of that stuff. At that rate, if you take that a negative 700 calorie deficit, 700 calorie deficit, and there's 7 days in a week, 7 days in a week, 700, that's 4,900. There's 3,500 calories in 1 pound. So I should be losing over a pound every single week. I should be down at least to 190, not up to 193.4. That's why the number on the scale does not matter. It does matter to a certain degree. You want to be able to have all the things that are working in favor of each other, but just keep that in mind. That's all you have to understand. Just that's a small, short message. And I'll talk more about this stuff later. But that number on the scale is not a good, it's not your friend. It's not your friend. It's not your enemy. It's just a freaking number. How do you feel? How do you look? How are your clothes fitting? How do you look when you see in the mirror, when you're looking in the mirror? How much confidence do you have when you're naked right before you take a shower, you get out of the shower, you look at yourself, all that kind of good stuff. These are all things. These are all factors. I'm not saying be vain, narcissistic, or any of that, but look at everything in its totality. Everything goes together. All right. I hope that helped a little bit today. I'll be back again soon. We're going to be talking about whole foods versus processed foods. And wow, we've got some good stuff coming up on that one. Stuff I don't even know. It's going to be a good one. So I hope that helped. If you need any help, reach out to me. Otherwise, I'll see you again soon. Have a good rest of your day. Peace out.